So you can see the boat on the River Rhine going past. There's the River Rhine along here, and we're on the Lower Rhine, and there are lots of problems with the flooding on the Lower Rhine. I'm here with Walter Helmer, so tell me what the issues are.
Well, as I said, we had serious floods here, and the default solution is actually to raise the dikes. That's what we have done for many centuries in the Netherlands. But that in the 80s, there was suddenly a new vision about our river area to not raise the dikes anymore, but actually lower the floodplains and use, in this case, the mining industry. Sorry guys, what's coming there? Is this a grey heron? Sorry. So actually, and there's a goshawk again.
Oh, very nice.
So in the 80s there was a new vision on the river area called Plan Stork, and for the first time in 800 years they suggested to not raise the dikes but to lower the floodplains and use the mining industry, the clay mining industry, and clay is a renewable source here, to lower the floodplains and giving enough space for the floods. Which actually, this was one of the pilot areas to do that.
So all of the area that we can see over here, this initially was at this level, is that right?
At this level, and it was mainly cornfields, intensive grasslands, and completely changed into flood forests, side gullies, river dunes. So a very diverse natural landscape.
And so it was dug out and converted into bricks?
Yes. So already in 1993 we signed a covenant with the brick industry, and since then every brick in the Netherlands contributes to rewilding actually. And in a pace of 100 hectares per year we transform agricultural landscapes into nature areas. Yeah.
So what area have you covered?
So it's in a pace of about 100 hectares per year. So I think we are, at the moment, we have a few tens of thousands of hectares are now rewilding areas where in the past it was agricultural landscape. So the farmers agreed on that because the land outside the floodlands were less suitable for them, also because of summer floods. They could get a good price for the land because of the clay mining, and they see a new economy coming up by tourism. And many farmers now have a mixed business in farming and tourism. So it helped everybody here to.
So everybody won. And the habitat here. So this, as you say, this was a cornfield 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, this was grassland, but it was cornfields behind. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And now this is riparian forest. Willows. Yeah. And there's a black poplar over there, which is.
Black poplars everywhere. Oak trees coming up, thanks to the thorny shrubs like hawthorn and blackthorn.
Okay. Yeah.
Oaks are coming up. So a very diverse forest, but a grazed forest. So we also released horses, cattle here, wild feral cattle here. We released beavers in 1994, and these herbivores actually created a mosaic landscape of forest grasslands, which is quite diverse also in biodiversity.
So what do you think this habitat was like in the past? We've got some clues over there, I think, haven't we? This is your
Yeah, it's very long. People in Europe thought that before humans came in, it was a closed canopy forest, and of course there was the theory of Frans Vera that it was an open grazed forest. And here in this area, actually, in the background, you see those stems of trees. We call it a woodhenge. Actually, these trees they dug it up from the river bottom. And they appeared to be 8,500 years old, and they have very low branches, these trees, which means that they grew up really in an open grazed landscape. So more or less that's the evidence that the landscape that's now coming back again is the natural landscape of our river floodplains.
And do you think this scheme has worked? Has it worked for flood protection?
Absolutely, yeah. So of course, in theory, it already worked, but then you need a kind of stress test, and we had that 5 years ago. Not so much here, but along the border Meuse, where we did similar activities. And the water level was even, the amount of water was bigger than in 1993, when we had hundreds of millions of damage. And 5 years ago, we had no damage at all. So rewilding already saved our land billions of euros, and it will save tens of billions of euros in Europe, I think, if we continue to implement this on the whole continent.
So it's a fabulously visionary and famous project. I think this is kind of really the first rewilding project that sort of inspired so many people in Europe. So
it's also important for me to show that, because there live 20 million people around here within 1 hour. The land prices are high, higher than everywhere else in Europe, and still we managed to do this, which is so. Yeah, in rewilding Europe, for example, we set up big projects everywhere in Europe, but people ask, okay, but who are you to tell us what we should do? Show me what you have done. And then having this place in your back garden under these conditions is also very convincing, actually, towards others to say, okay, maybe we can do the same.
And it's inspired lots of other sites as well, hasn't it? So what else is...
Yes, of course, there are along the Danube, along the Upper Rhine, more and more places are doing exactly this, giving more space to rivers. But in more general, the theory of let nature do the job, and see nature as an ally in solving modern socioeconomic issues, that becomes more widespread now in this rewilding movement. And then it's about drink water quality, it's about reducing wildfires because of natural grazing, and so on. So nature is really an important ally for us in solving, as I said, modern economic issues. And yeah, that's a lesson learned here.
Yeah, so thanks for all that's been done here, and it really has inspired. And remember, so many people come and do a pilgrimage here and use Vadersplassen, and it's inspired so many conservationists across Europe and elsewhere.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you. Also, thank you for coming here.